Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling one of the most intense and, honestly, cosmically grand arguments in the entire New Testament, the Epistle to the Hebrews. It really reads less like a friendly letter and more like a powerful, urgent sermon. See, the author of Hebrews isn't writing to a bunch of people who've never heard of Jesus, not at all. He's writing to people who know the story, who've been part of the community, but now they're feeling the pressure. And the temptation isn't to launch some big rebellion, it's to just fade out, to disengage, to slowly, quietly drift back to the way things were before. And that right there is the heart of this entire book. It's a sustained, powerful theological argument meant to stop that drift in its tracks. The big idea here is that salvation isn't just about something that happened in the past. It's about a present, active loyalty, an allegiance to the one and only mediator who gives us real access to God. Okay, so to really get why this spiritual drift is so dangerous, we have to first step into the world that Hebrews was written in. It's a different mindset. This is not our modern secular worldview. Not even close. You have to picture a cosmos that is just humming with divine order. Heaven and earth are distinct realms, but they're connected. There are boundaries, sacred spaces, and a whole system of mediators, like priests and angels, who operate in the space between God and humanity. And right at the heart of this worldview is a fundamental problem, a huge one. There's a cosmic gap. How can finite, imperfect people ever get direct access to the presence of a holy and infinite God? Now, the old systems, they definitely tried to answer this. You had angels bringing messages. You had Moses delivering the law. You had earthly priests offering sacrifices day after day. But the argument in Hebrews is that all of these were temporary fixes. They were incomplete by their very nature. They could manage the problem, sure, but they couldn't solve it for good. What was really needed was someone or something permanent and divine to bridge that gap once and for all. And you see a perfect example of this problem in the story of Israel in the wilderness. They were offered the chance to enter God's rest. Now, when we hear rest, we think of taking a break, right? Kicking back. But that's not it at all. In Hebrews, rest is sacred space language. It means entering the very presence of God, the place where He rules. And their failure to enter wasn't because of some intellectual doubt. It was a failure of loyalty, a deep refusal to trust and follow. So the problem of access is clearly on the table. And this is where Hebrews introduces its absolutely radical and definitive solution. The argument just kicks off with this incredible cosmic bang. Jesus isn't just another prophet or a good teacher. He is the Son. He's the heir of everything, the exact imprint of God's nature. We're shown that Jesus has this unique role in running the universe, a role far, far above any angel. And this is fascinating. The point isn't just that He saves us, it's that He governs the entire cosmos. And to really hammer this point home, the author compares Jesus not to the priesthood everyone knew, the Levitical one from Israel's history, but to this mysterious ancient figure named Melchizedek. And wow, the contrast couldn't be more stark. The old priesthood, it was based on your family tree. It was earthly. Christ's priesthood, based on a divine promise, and it's heavenly. The old one was temporary because priests die. Christ's is eternal. It needed endless animal sacrifices over and over. Christ offered Himself once for all time. You see the shift? It's from a system that could never quite finish the job to one that is totally complete and lasts forever. So, what's the direct result of having this superior eternal priest? Well, it's huge. The problem of access? It's finally completely solved. Because Jesus entered the true heavenly sanctuary, we are now invited to draw near to the throne of grace. And let's be clear, this isn't just some nice, cozy image for private prayer. A throne is a seat of power. It's the control room of the universe. The point is that through Christ, we now have access to the very center of cosmic government. And guess what flows from it now? Not judgment, but mercy and grace. And this brings us to the first massive payoff of Christ's work: access. Salvation in Hebrews isn't just a warm feeling. It's an official, authorized, all-access pass into the very presence of God. The no-entry sign has been torn down. But that access demands a response from us. And that response is allegiance. Think about it. If Christ is the only one who gets us through the door, then our faith can't be just a one-time thing. It has to be an active, ongoing, persevering loyalty to Him. To drift away from Christ is to literally walk away from the only entrance. And the final outcome here is participation. This access isn't for us to be passive spectators. No way. Salvation actually restores us to our intended purpose. We become active participants in God's cosmic family, in His household. So what does this new reality actually feel like? Well, toward the end of the book, Hebrews paints this absolutely stunning picture of a believer's new status. It's the climax of the whole argument. And here's the detail that just blows my mind. Notice the tense. It doesn't say one day you will come, it says you have come. This is a present reality, not just a future hope. The author is practically shouting that through our allegiance to Christ, we are already citizens of this heavenly city. We are already members of this joyful cosmic gathering. An incredible status like that demands a response, right? Because the throne is open. Because our priest is faithful, the call is simple, but it's also demanding. We're told to constantly draw near with confidence, to hold on tight without wavering, and to endure whatever comes our way. Because our true citizenship is in a kingdom that can never, ever be shaken. And that's the final, provocative thought that Hebrews leaves us with. It completely reframes how we think about faith. If salvation isn't just about a ticket to a place we go to when we die, but about active citizenship right here, right now, in God's heavenly kingdom, well, how does that change things? It's a huge shift. It turns faith from being just a memory of a past event into a living, breathing, moment-by-moment allegiance to our King and High Priest who is ruling right now.